quick transparent contact with just one coach.
All right. Whenever right over here, there's going to be a woman Rachel sitting in this chair, and she's going to be the one checking the window. Okay, your first run, and then she's going to walk over to the start platform. So y'all can kind of come right over here. Y'all can just stand like right here, line like ready and nice, and tell what you want. Okay. All right, guys, so your first obstacle is going to be over here. So I want to make sure all the kids can see this one over here. This is your start platform right here. So whenever you're over here, you can come right over here. Your first obstacle is the sonic curve. This is a hands and feet obstacle. You can touch the black and yellow step, which is in the part and your feet. And then this is there. I guess this is it, right? This block, this block, or box. This is your finished platform. Okay? Alright, any questions about sonic curve? Pretty short. Really fast. Alright, yes. Answers here aloud, yep. Guys, let's all back up so that we can see a demonstration. If you go back to that gray and black line, alright, we're going to see Brett do sonic curve. Go, Brett! Yeah! Obstacle is a rope swing. This is a hands and feet obstacle. You can use the round rope with really any part of your body to get to the finished platform. This is a large black mat at the very end. Let's see a demonstration. All right, any questions about the rope swing? All right. After that, we're going to turn to your left where the trampoline is. You always want to stand right in the middle. All right, guys. For your next obstacle, this is your starting platform, but if you want to use your trampoline to get up to it, you can. So yeah, feel free to use your trampoline if you want to, but this is your starting platform. Alright, this one is the toss-up. You can use any part of the toss-up, including the handlebars, the slot, or the outside hole that you want to use to get to the finished platform at the end, which is the large black box. Alright, let's see a demo and then have some questions. Nice. Let's go, Brett! Woo! Nice job. Any questions about the toss-up? As long as you touch it and cross the plane, you'll be good. So make sure you'll get pretty tough, okay? It's like a regular competition. All right. Let's do all right, at this point, guys, if you kind of stay where you are, we're just going to look this way. Brett's going to run over to your next start platform. All right, we're going to go a little higher. So I'm going to swing it right here, okay? The next one is going to be a ring glider. This is a hands-only obstacle. You can only try to hit the ring to get to the finished platform, and Brett's going to finish our platform. So Any questions? All right. Alright guys, your very last obstacle is the warped wall. This is a hand anti-obstacle. You can touch any part of the warped wall as well as a wooden ring and the strap that it's connected to. It's raising that up just a little bit. It's going to be a little bit higher for you. Your buzzer is going to be at the top of that warped wall. Make sure you hit that buzzer just off the time, okay? Hit it good. Alright, and that's how you do the warped wall and hit the buzzer. Any questions? You're going to have 1 minute and 25 seconds to do the whole course, okay? It's a fast course. It's only like 6 to 7 hours, okay? Y'all got it. All right, at this time, y'all can go back into the warm-up area and we'll get started shortly, okay? Oh, that's right. Okay.
Hey, Booty, have you checked the buzzer?
I was going to say, let's do that.
Because it wasn't on yesterday.
Who's got the starter?
Grace, maybe?
Please at the desk.
Okay.
If you want to check any obstacles,
Yeah, I'll
shortest,
check them.
shortest one to reach the height. We're going to start in a couple of minutes, so y'all take a little time, at least 5 minutes to get warmed up, and we'll get started on your Exactly.
Yeah, right.
No, we'll do it. I'm gonna listen for full class.
Hey, this is Premier Series. When we said they were going to take on the toughest courses, we meant it. It's critical at this point that he finishes. If she wants to win this competition, she must beat Area 53, hit that buzzer. That just goes to show you what you are up against in the Premier Series.
Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to the Motive School of Movement in Greenville, South Carolina, home to our second ever World Ninja League Premier Series qualifier. I'm your host for the Kids Division, Kane Casillas, joined by my co-host, none other than the commentator ninja, Mary Layton. Mary, how are you doing today?
Hello everyone, I am so excited to hop on the mic for today's Premier Series competition. I don't know if you guys watched the stream last week from Ferox, but it is high energy, high competition. It is fast, it is fun, it's the best of the best, and I am so excited to see all of the athletes we have competing here today get out there and absolutely crush the course. Motive School of Movement, well renowned for their course design. I'm so excited to see some of these obstacles. Kane, how about you?
I cannot be more excited for an opportunity for Brett Sims to just go crazy with a course. He is one of the greatest course designers in the sport, in my opinion, and we only invite the top 25% of athletes to the Premier Series, which means he has no reason to hold back on the course, and that just is so exciting to me.
What I'm really excited to see is how the innovations that have been created for the Premier Series are going to influence course design of Season 9. So definitely be on the lookout if you're on the stream for some of these fun new obstacles from Brett Sims. He always has a big influence on how things play out in the regular season. Throwback being one of the things that was a big to-do at Worlds this year, so definitely be keeping an eye out for that.
Absolutely, and we're going to get started in just a bit with the kids female division. We have 3 athletes in this division, and the top 4 do advance, but at the same time, we are going to see our athletes push themselves, even if they're qualifying or not. And we have a loaded field, including 2 athletes who finished in the top 10 at the World Championships, Mila Rukas and Mia Law.
Mila Rukas is an athlete that I am pretty familiar with. She trains in New England over at TA Fitness Plymouth, and this girl has been an unstoppable force since she started in Ninja. Just so many impressive accolades. 5th place at Worlds, as you said. Very excited to see her tackle this course.
And then on the other hand, we've got Mia Law, who I've seen compete a couple of times as well over in the Southeast. She was the regional champion, and she was the first athlete in the league across all divisions to achieve 120 points, which for those who don't know, that's 10 wins in the regular season.
Fantastic.
Now we've got our first of 2 courses coming up. The athletes have been debriefed on the rules. This course is going to be known as the placement course, and while it doesn't eliminate anybody, your placement on this course does determine the run order for the challenge course, which is second. As you can see on the screen now, the placement course is your traditional flow format. If you fall once, your run ends. It is a furthest fastest speed course, and as we saw in Ferox, speed is going to be such a major factor, not just speed but efficiency as well.
Yes, in Ferox last week, 45 seconds to get through the placement course. It is a true test of efficiency and speed. I can't wait to see these 3 female athletes tackle it. Mila, I know, is a very speedy athlete. Lucas Reale, her coach, trains efficiency, but this is where the athletes get to put it to the test. It's critical that they get those fast times. With 3 of them, they are guaranteed to move on to the finals course, as it is the top 3. But we still want to see them have a great showing here today.
Absolutely. And it's great because the challenge course, which you'll also see on your screen, is a new format as well to the World Ninja League, relatively new to the sport of ninja as well. You only have 2 retries in your back pocket, but you can only use 1 on each obstacle. This means that if you fail on one of your retries, your run is over. And if you use up both of your retries on separate obstacles, it's your 3rd strike and you're out. This is going to be a lot pumpier, a lot more technical. We saw a lot of close calls on Ferrix where just the smallest mistakes could absolutely end your run and send you a half second behind a qualifying spot in the finals. So we can expect a lot of intense matchups today. I'm very excited.
Another thing that we saw at Ferox was just very technical obstacles. I think the tire run was, that was in the placement course. Very technical movement. You really had to be anticipating that side-to-side swing that you were going to get off of those. And then again, the skyhooks obstacle in the challenge course, super, super technical. We saw a lot of athletes use their retries on those obstacles. I'm wondering what Brett Sims has cooked up for us today.
Absolutely. And while we did talk about how these athletes are going to stack up around the course or how we expect them to, we have slightly overlooked someone. It's Corinne Hanlon in the New England region as well. Made it to the second to last obstacle on stage 1 of the World Championship. Definitely not something to slouch at. And that's what I love about the Premier Series. There are 3 ladies here. We do have a podium. The order of the podium could be any combo. And that is what is the most intriguing about this specific form of competition.
Yes, Corinne Hanlon, also a New England regional athlete, 11th in the standings. That means that she's been to quite a few competitions, so she has a lot of competition experience under her belt. Going to Worlds, you have the skills competition, you have your stage 1 run, and it looks like we are getting started. There is Mila.
Yep, you can see Mila out of TA Fitness rocking the Operation Link Everything shirt. We saw everyone who wore that shirt literally link everything, so we'll see if Mila follows suit.
Yes, Mila is absolutely capable of linking everything, and everybody on the stream, this is our first look at the course here. So it looks like we have a little action on some of those mini throwbacks from DGS, using those handles. Mila pumping through her swing.
Just going for that dismount. And right off coming onto the ring slider.
A little bit more time for the athletes on this placement course than in the Ferox competition.
And it looks like Mila breezes right through the balance and is coming up onto a big trapeze throw. She's really trying to kip those hips up, generate as much momentum as possible. Turning herself around and has to reach up to that flywheel. Oh, just go straight for the dismount.
I really like the start on that obstacle because you can run into it. I think we're getting close to the end here. I see a buzzer, and Mila is going to clear the placement course in 1:08, well in time. We'll see how that stacks up against our other athletes here today.
Mila showing very well that you can absolutely destroy this course.
Close to the end here. I see a buzzer,
but also putting the gauntlet down, a little bit of pressure on the other athletes if they want a good run order and some extra beta on the challenge course.
And Mila was super efficient through most of the course. I think the only place where she could have maybe picked up a little bit of time would be on the start of that big trapeze swing. It's a pretty tough throw. So we'll see if some of the other ladies here today can build up that swing a little bit faster to get that dismount.
No worries.
And Corinne is quickly up to the mini throwbacks, looking a little bit hesitant as she's approaching each of those obstacles, but so far the technique is solid. Couple backswings, making sure she's ready to go to those handles. Oh, and it looks like she was a little hesitant. I wonder if those mini throwbacks are a little farther away than it looks like on the camera. Sometimes when you have to make a throw and you know you're about to your momentum's about to shift with that drop on the mini throwback, that might have made her hesitate just a little bit.
Season where this athlete did not make the podium.
You know, an athlete that's taking podiums in all of her competitions is ready to compete. You can see her taking a deep breath. She's getting that focus ready. Oh, I'm excited for this run.
Absolutely. Ranked 5th in the power rank, got the grand champion ranking, which is the highest you can possibly get. Qualified for 4 different regionals last season. Really ran the comp circuit and tried to gain as much experience as possible. We're going to see that now.
First 2 obstacles already, you see her just attacking. She is going for it. No hesitation going to that second set of mini throwbacks. On to the third and dismount. She knows exactly where she's going, right into that slider.
Ooh, the balance you can see falls right down, but she's quick on her feet.
I was a bit nervous right there. Those boxes do tip, but look at this build she's got. Very quick through the trapeze swing.
I think we're going to see
running right over. Oh, absolutely sub-minute.
And there we go, 50.05 seconds.
Wow.
Mia Law takes the fastest time on the placement course and will be running last on the challenge course.
What an absolute throwdown from Mia today. You know, some of these ladies, they know that they're going to qualify for the finals. Oh, absolutely today. But
there we go, 50 points.
She's in it. She's ready to take that first place spot, and I think she demonstrated that with her placement run today.
I think the benefit of knowing that you're going to qualify is that you get to go full send and see how you would do.
Absolutely. Speaking of full send,
right?
Full sending right into the kids boys division here into the placement course. Kaylin Kaminsky is up on the course, already on to the mini throwbacks.
Kaylin's got quite the resume himself. He was the 3rd strongest ninja at the World Championships. And he's competed for only 2 years. Made a lot of progress in those 2 years. Very quick feet as well, and he's just sprinting into that trapeze.
Oh, and a huge build. I expect a dismount right here. There it is. All the way over to the warped wall.
Not really needing the ring, but grabbed it anyways. 44.03 seconds. Kaylin Kaminsky, your 2023 Midwest Regional Champion, sets the bar very high. But if anyone can beat that, it's going to be our next athlete. But look at that. Taking a look again at Kaylin. Absolutely sailing through. Look at that pop up the warped wall.
Now we're going to need to have fast times from these athletes here today because there are 17 competing, only 4 spots available to go to the finals. And Bentley Boyd is starting his attempt to get a solid place in the placement. Look at that link through dropping boxes.
Yes. If you're familiar with the Southeast Regional Ninjas, you will probably know Bentley Boyd, who was 3rd place at the World Championship this year, won the power skill, got 2nd place in the pec skill. Bentley has a lot of the abilities in his arsenal, and we're seeing a massive sprint out of him right now. I couldn't even finish hyping him up. He just got straight.
These times are getting faster and faster. We saw Mia put up a sub-minute time at 50 seconds. And then our first male athlete, 44, and now Bentley with 41. How fast do you think we're going to get today?
I think that a sub 40 is absolutely possible on this. I think we're going to get close to 35 or 36. Now that the athletes know a little more about the course, I think we're going to see a lot more sprints. Our next athlete is going to be Luke Lebda, who filled out his athlete bio with 3 words that could not ring truer. I love ninja.
Well, passion is definitely something that you need to carry you through a sport that is as tough as this is, as tough as these competitions are. Luke easily through the first 2 obstacles, moving on to box bridges.
Now, Luke is coming out of Ultimate Ninja in Elmhurst, Illinois. Not his home, but absolutely allowed to travel around to different qualifiers.
A little confusion there on where the start was for the ring slider, but easily makes the fix there. Quick agility over the boxes.
Oh, has a little stumble there right before the trapeze, but picks himself back up and he's moving. Let's see if we can get that dismount. He does.
Oh, he gets it before we even have the right camera angle to look at it.
Yeah, and these athletes are moving so quick. 49.94 seconds. Not the fastest time in his division right now, but absolutely an incredible run out of Luke Lebda.
Getting a fast time on the placement course, you might think, okay, well, what does it matter? We're going into the challenge course. Everyone gets to run. This isn't an elimination round. Why not play it safe and just clear all the obstacles? You don't want to do that right now because the more beta you have to get that top spot, remember, only 4 athletes qualifying for our finals. You want to put up a fast time so you can see more of what's happening on that challenge course, know what you need to do to get that qualifying spot. And Harris and Munoz already through. This is such a fast-moving competition. On to ring slider.
You could see that some of the athletes were taking 2 or 3 pumps. Harrison only really needed 1 and then took an extra one to be safe through that ring slider. He is not stopping. His foot is on the gas pedal right now.
He almost could have dismounted on his first swing. Oh, are we going to get sub 40?
We are not, but we are going to get a 40.3. Oh my goodness.
So close.
It's definitely possible.
It's definitely possible. I think especially with the fact that Harrison almost had the dismount off of the trapeze on his first pump, I think that we'll definitely see some athletes push for that. So definitely, I mean, that's your 0.47 seconds right there.
Of course, not to mention he only linked the dismount of toss-up, our 3rd obstacle. And I think if we see some links through there, we could get a whole other 1 or 2 seconds off that time as well. We have such a stacked field. We didn't even have time to address the kids' male division here. Our first 3 runners, Kalen, Bentley, and Luke, all placed in the top 10 at the World Championship. We also are going.
Wow.
We're also going to have another top 10 athlete at Worlds out of Parker Johnson, who will be running in just a bit. A lot of these athletes, stage 2, stage 3 at the World Championship, won some skills, won some regionals, podiumed in some regionals. They are absolutely insane, including our next athlete.
Eli Liu is from the New England region. I spy a Ninja Mania shirt. If any of you have listened to my commentary on some of the New England streams, there's one thing I say about Ninja Mania kids. It is that they like to go fast. And that is exactly what we're seeing out of Eli. You saw him pushing for that dismount off of the rope. Knows he needs to get on and off of these obstacles for a good placement.
Let's see.
Already on to toss-up.
There we go. Going for 1 big kip, not linking anything, but it's totally fine. Wants to play it safe because right now you have to get the buzzer if you want even a shot at a good spot on that challenge course.
Really, for the skill of the athletes that I see here, I don't see anybody failing these obstacles. Hopefully I didn't just commentate or curse it, but you know, these are obstacles that are fairly simple to execute. It really is about the speed here for the placement.
Absolutely. We can see Eli building up a big swing right now, trying to kip back with his hips as much as he can, throws himself over to the platform and is running towards that warped wall. And just pop right up, not needing the ring as well. And that's going to be a 104 finish for Eli Liu. Great run. And Ninja Mania had quite the showing at Ferox last weekend. Could be seeing a repeat of that. Eli definitely setting the tone for it.
Ninja Mania has quite a resume of impressive competitive athletes on their roster. I am excited to see all of them out here competing.
Parker Johnson.
And now here was... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say Parker Johnson rocking the Lab Rat shirt, training out of the Movement Lab in New Jersey.
Couple of extra back swings.
There we go, pumping right through. We're not seeing as...
Oh, no.
Whoa.
She missed an obstacle.
See some of our athletes getting a little confused here, but they're recovering. They did not engage in any other obstacles, so they're not getting DQ'd.
Oh, wow. And that was a very quick move through the trapeze. He knows that with forgetting which obstacle he needed to start, he wasted a little bit of time, so he had to crank through that.
And that was
42.
42-second run. Oh, my goodness.
Impressive. Could have been, I think that could have been sub 40 if he had remembered which obstacle was next.
I agree. He took about 3 or 4 seconds to run, turn around, and run back. So that was definitely that. It's crazy that that might be what does some of these athletes. And we've seen a little bit of confusion on the course. We do kind of go in a bit of a figure 8 type of shape. So we do want to make sure that our athletes are following properly. And we'll see.
Well,
that could be the difference between first and second, Mary.
Such a demonstration of how knowing the course can really affect your placement. It's something that I think we work on in practice all the time with ninjas, is knowing the course. You don't want to waste any time trying to figure out where to go. And Silas Bertrand, not wasting any time, moving quickly through.
This one's one of my teammates over at Level Up in Thomasville, North Carolina. You can see his coach, Chad Hone, on the sideline. Silas, during ninja camps, we have races, and none of the kids want to race him because he just goes, and he's full throttle, as we can see right now. Made it to stage 2 at the World Championship.
A little confusion which obstacle was next, but looks like he could have gone for the dismount right there. Had plenty of build. Still going to have a speedy time up the warped wall. And hitting the buzzer for a time of 47.33.
Great job, Silas. Taking a look over. Big pumps on toss-up. Haven't seen too many people link it. I think we've only seen Bentley link it, but look at the quick feet right there. That's definitely what saved him. But then again, that directional change, he wasn't entirely sure where to go, it looks like. So we're going to have to see those seconds tick away on yet another run.
Kane, you almost seemed shocked when you saw he had a time of 47 seconds.
I was by no means was I disappointed. I'm so proud, but at the same time, yeah, shocked is the right word.
All right, well, Grayson Johnson, another athlete, understands the need for speed here. You saw a nice little early dismount off of the rope slider. Almost didn't get all the way over, but took the risk and it paid off. Oh no!
Peeled off, and that's going to be the end of Grayson's run. Currently having him run first on the challenge course, but we do still have 6 runners to go. A lot could change.
I think he just threw maybe a little bit too soon. Maybe needed one more build to really make sure he had enough to get to that third set of handles, but anything can happen. Your placement in the challenge course does not determine your overall placement. It is literally just what it is, a placement. So we'll have to see how that plays out for him.
Absolutely. We've seen athletes run in the first 3 or 4 runners and still get in that top 4 and qualify for finals. So it's definitely not over for Grayson. Here we have Striker Strickland, though. Says he's #1 in sheer awesomeness and is awesome. Incredible Hulk. I love the confidence.
Well, I could agree with that. I just looked at how old he is. He's only 7 years old. So definitely could be confused with the Incredible Hulk. One of our taller athletes out there for sure.
I just want to read his bio while he runs this course because he looks very confident here. Stryker enjoys candlelight dinners and long walks on the beach with a winky face. His arms are number one. His legs are number one. His core is number one. And he likes dinosaurs and Legos. This is probably my favorite bio of all time. And you know what? No discredit to his skill here. He is just sprinting through with the sense of humor and the skill to boot. Stryker Strickland, 52.52 seconds.
The Incredible Hulk does ninjas. Who knew? From Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to the Incredible Hulk, we've got all the superheroes here for you today. Speaking of superheroes, our next athlete, Mr. Angel Vega.
I have been corrected on his name at comps quite a few times. It is Angel.
Oh, Angel. Thank you.
Of course. Angel is coming right through the rope slider right now. Or rope swing. Apologies. Jumping up the toss-up. You can see Coach of the Year, Michael Johnson, on his sideline, giving him pointers as he's going. And look at that hole right through. What great kicks.
That efficiency is there. Knows how to generate swing if he's not going to link right off of the top. Let's see the tech on the slide or the trapeze. Now a little bit shorter of an athlete, not able to run into it as much. It looks like he went for an early dismount. I think he did just miss the clear on that. But you got to give this kid props for really pushing for it.
Absolutely. And you could see as well, there was a bit of a stutter step after he got off the dropping boxes, trying to figure out, I think he went right for the trampoline next to the trapeze, which even then, he was at a flying pace. 30 seconds to that point is crazy fast. But yeah, like you said, I think he just needed one extra swing, and then that buzzer would have been all his.
Great technique on display, though, so even though he will be going earlier in the challenge course, could still be quite a threat for the podium. So we will have to see how that plays out for Angel.
Absolutely. We've got just a few runners left, but let's talk about some of these other runs here. The difference between first and second place right now is 1.5 seconds. And then the difference between second and third is 0.4 of a second. This is the type of competitiveness that you expect from the Premier Series.
What I love about how this is playing out right now is that this placement course is about speed. And so we mentioned earlier as we were getting the stream started that the technique that was required for some of the obstacles at Fair Oaks definitely was much more technique. So the speedy athletes are doing well in the placement, but what's their technique like? We're going to have to see all of that on display for the challenge course.
Absolutely. And all credit to Brett Sims. This course tests all of the different types of skills that Ninja requires. But we're going to see it taken up a whole new level on the challenge course as we see Nolan Augustin currently just sailing through everything.
And Nolan is your 2023 FINA World Champion, a competition that just concluded recently. I'm guessing it was in the speed course because he is already done with this course. 44.51, not the top time, but definitely in probably our top 30% of completions today.
You want to know something crazy? I just read his bio. It says his favorite types of courses are burnout lanes.
No way.
Speed might not even be his specialty, and he put up a
maybe
top
he's just good at it. Wow. Great work out of Nolan today.
Next we've got Alex Kaminsky. So out of Steel City. Made it to stage 1, failed that tricky balance obstacle, but hey, so did I, so no shame in that. Got 10th place in the Midwest region in Season 8.
Very exciting.
To link, and there's the dismount link. There we go. But again, we're seeing some of our athletes get a little twisted up. We saw him do a full spin before coming up to the ring slider.
And his coach is now giving him a little bit more clear directions on exactly where to go. Great work, coach.
And I like seeing the athletes grab the trapeze with a mixed grip so they can just twist right around and generate swing from there. I think that's the fastest way for them to get in and get out of that obstacle.
And Alex taking a little bit of a trip on the mats before getting up to hit the warped wall. That did not slow him down. He's going to hit the buzzer. Oh, get the climb up. And he's got it.
There we go. 1 minute and 73 hundredths of a second. Almost a minute flat. Great run. It looked like he really wanted to link here on toss-up, and he did so on the dismount, but it looked like he was going to go in between. Saw some fast footwork as well.
Yeah, Steel City Ninja is one of the gyms that trains a decent amount of efficiency. They always have great flow in their athletes.
Next up, Eli James Murray, training out of the rig, made it to the World Championship the last 2 seasons. Made it to stage 2 recently. Season 8 World Championships. It says here he began ninja training at the age of 4. So already has more experience than me. There we go, coming right into the ring slider. Very good. We've seen a few more kips than that, but Eli just kind of lets it slide. Used his momentum there.
Yep, not wasting any of his energy. We'll see if that calculation pays off for the... Oh, wow. Look at that. Now he's backwards. I don't know if he's planning to turn around. There it is.
All right. He's a little crooked. Nah, he's going to make it on just fine. Just like that. And I love just the constant flow of motion. He has not stopped moving at all. And that's going to give him a time of 1 minute, 6 seconds to the buzzer. Great run from Eli.
And a great climb up. One of those small movements that can really be the difference in your time on the course. All right, we saw a big showing of our SoFlo ninjas at Ferox last week. No changes this week at Motive. Here is Jorge Armaz.
If I'm not mistaken, Jorge was at our last qualifier as well. Yes, he was. Unfortunately, did not qualify for the finals, but is looking for a redemption run right now. Potentially going to nab himself a spot in the top 4 today.
I'm loving the power that I'm seeing out of him right now. Even his launch off of the rope, his launch off of the small throwbacks, it's just really explosive, really powerful. Look at that. Totally skips over one of the boxes. Are we going to see an immediate dismount here? All right.
No, we're going to see one extra swing, though. Here we go. There it is.
This kid has not stopped moving, not paused. He is all gas, no brakes, and a time of 45.83. That's going to give him a really solid placement for the challenge course.
See that skip. There it is. That was the moment that was definitely my favorite moment of the placement course today.
I wish I could ask him if that was planned or if it just happened, because he was moving so fast it almost looks like he knew he might overshoot it. But, you know, a little ghost stepping is always fun. Maybe he was just going for a little flair during his course run.
I'd like to think it was planned, so in his head it's even cooler, you know? But
absolutely.
Looking at our leaderboard here, Harrison Munoz is our fastest finisher. He will be running last in the Kids Male Challenge course, time of 40.36 seconds. Second to last is going to be Bentley Boyd, and then third to last is going to be Parker Johnson. We're flipping around our run order, so that's going to be, if you see our first, those are going to be our last runners on the challenge course. Challenge course is going to be a little different, a lot more technical, different format, different rules. We're going to start off with the kids female in due time. Corinne Hanlon going to be our first runner on that course, with Mia Law rounding out that division as well. Now, we've got a lot of big plans coming up. It's going to be a wild course to my understanding. I haven't gotten to see it yet, but I do know that we're going to get a nice breakdown of the course shortly from none other than Booty Cawthron.
Now, I'm trying to think of all of the motive courses I've seen over the years. I'm going to guess there's some cliffhangers in this course. I would love to say spider wall, but I feel like the motive spider wall might be a little bit big for the 6 to 8 year olds. Just a guess.
Possibly.
And definitely some sort of new hanging hold. That always seems to be what Brett Sims can create, is just something that you can swing to, that you can hang off of, that just requires a little bit different technique than what's out there, a little bit different thought. Very exciting to see what we're going to throw at this kids division here today.
One of my new personal favorites is from the regional that they hosted here at Motive for the Southeast. The gear shift was very inventive obstacle where you have to work your way across this long gear and rotate it quite a bit. You're using a bit of book holds. You're using some cliff ledges on there. Lots of power, lots of technique. And then there was a chance to give a powerful lache for a dismount at the very end as well. And it's just the type of creative thinking using so many different holds and movements. I'm not sure what we can exactly expect, but I would say something wild is coming in this qualifier.
To try to figure out the mind of Brett Sims. Now, that was most motive courses. They're interesting. They require you to be fast. They require you to be flowy, but they do burn you out. So I think that our athletes that have the best combination of speed and also grip endurance are going to fare pretty well here today. So you saw, we were just talking about, I believe it was Nolan, and how he was moving really quickly, but he actually really likes burnout courses. So perhaps, Nolan in the run order, he's in 5th place right now. So he's going to be running a little bit later. We'll have time to look at the techniques, time to look at the beta from the other athletes. But a Brett Sims course might be perfect for Nolan.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Nolan's in a great spot in the run order, as you said, and that could definitely position him well. Depending on how this course plays out, it could play to our strengths. Play to his strengths, I mean. But at the same time, the challenge format is entirely new from a mental aspect, and that's something that I cannot stress enough. As I was saying earlier, the challenge course has 2 retries. You get 2 retries in your back pocket. However, you can only use 1 on each obstacle. So let's say, okay, example, last week, the 3rd obstacle was the skyhooks. If you fall on the skyhooks the first time, your timer is frozen, so the staff can reset the course, and you get a retry on the skyhooks. If you complete the skyhooks, you continue throughout the course, but now you only have 1 retry remaining. If you fall on the skyhooks, your run ends. Essentially, you do not want to fail the same obstacle twice, and you do not want to fall on 3 different obstacles, because that means you're out of retries and your run ends. This is going to be techier, pumpier. It's going to be a lot more intense. And I've said it before, the difference between qualifying, making the podium, and not qualifying at all for many divisions was within a second and a half of each other. So we're going to see a lot of close calls. I can feel it. This field did not come to mess around. And it's very exciting. The challenge course, it's so mental with strategizing, creating beta, and not only that, but strategically knowing when to drop. We saw a couple of athletes do that last week at Ferox, where they knew that they were swinging around and that even if they completed an obstacle, they would have 0 time to get through the rest of the course. So they just dropped down, froze their timer, did the obstacle right the second time, and then got more points by completing more obstacles later on in their run. We'll see if any athletes approach it that way, if any coaches tell them to drop at certain times. I definitely think that with coaches like Michael Johnson and Chad Hone on the sidelines, we're going to see a lot more strategy.
Yeah, I think the challenge course with that 2 retries, it just introduces a different sort of element of mental preparation. So ideally, you want to get through your challenge course without any retries because that means that you have the fastest time. That means that you didn't have to restart an obstacle, adding more time to your overall completion time. But having that retry in the back pocket, especially on obstacles that are a little bit more technical, where you might not nail the technique the first time, the skyhooks from Ferox last weekend, a fantastic example. If your swing is not going the way you want it to, it's a good idea to just take the loss there and restart so that you can execute the obstacle more quickly, as opposed to, as you said earlier, wasting your time trying to correct it. And yes, completing it first try, but then you've wasted all of that time, you've wasted all of that energy. So it definitely introduces an extra element that the athletes have not had to work with before.
It's also worth noting that the amount of falls that an athlete takes does not affect their standing on the leaderboard. We are still prioritizing how far an athlete got and the time in which they got there. So while the falls might affect the timing side of the leaderboard, it's not like someone who makes it to the final obstacle with 1 fail is going to automatically be above someone who makes it to the final obstacle with 2 fails. It is absolutely just about how quickly can you get to that buzzer. And I think we're going to see some buzzers, quite a few.
Oh yes, very exciting to see what this course is going to be. So how do we think our athletes are going to do tackling a Brett Sims course?
I think those who have experience with Brett Sims courses, specifically our Southeast regional competitors, they've gotten to come around 2 or 3 times a year for the last, 2 or 3 years, depending on how long some of these athletes have been in the game. I think that they'll be a little more prepared, knowing knowing how Brett Sims likes to map out his courses, knowing the types of moves he likes to introduce, the types of positions that might be deemed uncomfortable on an obstacle, they might be training for now because they're expecting it out of a motive course. And I think one athlete to keep an eye out on for the kids female division is going to be Mia Law, who got a sub-minute finish on the placement course and made it top 10, 7th place at the World Championship. It was a very, very dominant run. You could see that she just came right in with speed, not stopping for anything. And that's the type of urgency that we're going to need on the challenge course. Because if you take even a half second to hesitate, that is going to be the difference between first and second place. We know that the kids female division is automatically qualified for finals, but at the same time, we know that they want the extra practice and they want to come in with that confidence to finals.
I think as somebody who could be a challenger for Mia, now she had an absolutely dominant run in the placement course, but I would definitely highlight Mila Rupus. So Mila is a little bit shorter than Mia is, and I think we definitely saw some of that height benefit her in her placement run. But Mila has been running with that, competing up against other athletes who are, bigger than her, have a longer reach, and still having so many dominant performances. 5th place at Worlds in 2023. I mean, I think that says it all. So definitely going to be a competition for first place. So there is something to consider for these females. It is a rule in the Premier Series that if there are less than 4 athletes, you are required to clear the first 3 obstacles in order to be qualified for the finals. So when placement isn't a key, you do still have to demonstrate that you have earned your way to the finals competition by clearing those first 3 obstacles. And you might think, first 3 obstacles, no big deal. But it is a Brett Sims course, ladies and gentlemen. It is a Brett Sims course. So will we see some of that play into who we see going to finals after this competition for the kids female division?
I will also add that this is the Premier Series, and regardless of where we are, Premier Series course is not going to be easy. One of the big cutoffs was the 3rd obstacle last week, the skyhooks. So depending on what could be in that position 3, there is a chance that some of these ladies could be putting their spot in the finals at risk, but we will also see. You know, we never know what fully is coming, and that's what I love about the Premier Series so much. And then, of course, we can't ignore the third athlete in our kids female division. Corinne Hanlon didn't have the smoothest run on the placement course, is going to be running first on the challenge course, but at the same time has proven to be a very capable athlete, was 11th in the New England region. Definitely nothing to be away at.
Yeah, and we saw that Corinne was just a little bit hesitant on the laches through the mini throwbacks, but she does have 2 retries. And I think that if Corinne had had an opportunity in her placement course to tackle that obstacle again, she likely would have cleared. And so I think that those retries, if she's feeling a little nervous, maybe not quite ready to execute first try, that is going to help her get through those first 3 and hopefully move on to finish the rest of the course after she's built up that confidence on a couple of obstacles.
Absolutely. We're also going to take a look over at our kids male division. Our fastest time was a 40-second run out of none other than Harrison Munoz, who was in the top 3 for the Southeast Regional Championship over here at Motive. Might have a bit of an advantage, as I was saying, with these courses. Understanding what is expected out of a Motive course can definitely be helpful, but at the same time, Motive's courses have gone all over the ninja community. Their obstacles, mass-produced, their movements recreated on Instagram by dozens and dozens of ninjas. I would say hundreds and hundreds of ninjas, actually. So, Harrison definitely coming in with a great spot, getting to run last on that challenge course due to his fast time on the placement course. But it could be anybody's game, especially with Bentley Boyd right before him as well. Third place overall at the World Championship.
With Harrison, one thing to call out, I think, as we were discussing a Brett Sims course earlier, is that Harrison is on the All Grip team. And so the All Grip team, these are athletes that are able to get through crux points in the courses. They're able to crush all of the tougher, grippier courses, which we did say was going to come into play. So I still really like Harrison's chances because he's a fast athlete. What's exciting about an athlete that executes the fastest time on a speed course is that you know that they can execute moves right the first time. And so that's going to be critical as far as getting a fast time on the challenge course. And also that all grip team definitely going to help him out on these somewhat grippier Brett Sims courses.
Absolutely. And there's just so many other good names, like so many talented athletes here. Another one to keep an eye out for, I would say, is Jorge Armas, who was with us last week. Definitely determined to punch his ticket to the finals. I think coming in with that sense of wanting redemption is such a big driving force on the course. And that determination alone can push you through a challenge course when you're pumped and when you're maybe a little tired or maybe a little frustrated that you fell on an obstacle. That determination can be what recenters you and makes your run that much better. And I think Jorge already has the skills, as we're seeing with that skip on the dropping boxes there. But I think with that extra amount of heart, a little cheesy, I know, but with that extra amount of heart, we can see something truly magical out of Jorge's run.
Yes, and the explosiveness too. Jorge is definitely a very explosive athlete, which we've seen in the past plays out well on these courses with Brett Sims specials.
And then we've got I want to circle back to Nolan Augustin as well. Someone that we had talked about just a little earlier, had a second place finish at the Southeast Regional Championship. If I'm not mistaken, we have almost our entire top 3 from the Southeast region here today, which is absolutely insane. As we said, Nolan put up a very fast time, top 5, nothing to slouch at, and he's a burnout athlete, or at least that's his favorite. So we could see a good mixture of skills here. We can see his power generation on the trapeze. We can see his speed as he's just taken on the warped wall right there. It's a very good mixture that does get you ready for the top 4. But at the same time, times were so tight between this division. You know, even the top 10 was pretty close to each other.
It looks like not even a difference of 5 seconds between first and 6th place. So when it comes to introducing more difficult tech, when it comes to introducing more obstacles that they haven't seen before, if those retries come into play, it's definitely not going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as we see it here. I think it's going to get shaken up quite a bit.
And another athlete I want to be pointing out is Silas Bertrand. A bit of bias, but at the same time, I know what this kid trains for. I know how he works. And last time he was at a motive competition, he put up the 2nd fastest time. I think there was some incidental contact in that regional, but he absolutely blitzed the entire course. And he trains, and I'll talk to him sometimes and be like, well, Brett puts these on his courses and Brett puts this, and he's thinking about it. So I cannot wait to see how he approaches something that I know for a fact he's thought his way through. Got 7th in the placement course, puts him in a good spot, right a little towards the back side of the pack, but a little closer to the middle as well. Going to see some good beta, and also has the chance to set the pace. I think that sweet spot is probably 5th place to maybe 9th or 10th. You're not early in the run order, so you can see other people's strategies, but you can also set the bar incredibly high and put the pressure on the later athletes. I think if I were running this, that's kind of where I'd want to be almost.
Yeah, it's moving into a competition with the challenge format where it is fall and done after your 2 retries. This is a different sort of mental preparation. You know, in most competitions, regular season competitions, everyone gets to run out their time. So you can kind of figure out, okay, when do I start warming up? When do I need to, prep myself mentally, go through some visualization? Different sort of ball game here at the challenge course.
And we do have some of our other athletes here who maybe didn't have the greatest runs on their placement course, but they are not bad ninjas by any means. Couple careless slip-ups, and that's totally fine, but at the same time, notable example being Grayson Johnson. Not someone who we've seen have many mistakes before. This was a rare occasion, his placement course run. But at the same time, going early, he has a chance to set the pace very, very high, and I'm very excited to see how he rises to the occasion. We saw a lot of athletes such as Aiden Ayers, Charlie Ball, run very early due to a mistake on the placement course. Jackson Erdos also. And it cost them, it almost cost them, but at the same time, they ended up hitting the buzzer on the challenge course or getting in the top 3, and that rise to occasion is something I could absolutely see out of an athlete like Grayson.
Yes, similarly, I think to Corinne, Grayson's early slip-up, those are just simple mistakes that you make early on in the course. And now that in the challenge course we have that retry in place, I think that Grayson will hopefully shake it off all those nerves, hopefully ready to tackle the course without failing anything. But that retry is going to help him just keep himself in the game, and I bet we'll see him get further along.
Now, just a reminder, the top 4 in our kids male division and our top 3, should they complete 3 obstacles in the kids female division, will all be qualifying for the WNL Premier Series Finals back at Fair Oaks Athletics November 17th to 19th. We're kicking off the kids division today as our first, and we're going to be moving into mature kids and preteens today in even more stacked. It just every single division has so many heavyweights, and I cannot wait for that. Now, I did want to point out probably the run that I had the most fun doing commentary for, we got to talk about Striker Strickland. A great run, and also just a great time acknowledging some of his confidence. I love it. One of the things that he wanted to mention about himself, number one, in sheer awesomeness. That is the type of confidence we need to be seeing on the challenge course. You know, even with those retries, as a little bit of added insurance, you can't be too hesitant coming into that course, where that will end your run and end your chances of making it to the finals. And I think Striker's coming in with a good spot, 9th place on the placement course. It puts him about dead center out of 17 athletes in the kids male division. And also, again, we've seen that he has the skill for this, so I could absolutely see a deep run on the challenge course out of Striker Strickland.
Well, Striker did say his arms are number one, his legs are number one, and his core is number one. And I think that makes a whole athlete. So I think we're looking at maybe seeing, we'll see if he can take that number one spot on our challenge course today.
Absolutely. Taking a look around at the rest of our field, we still have so many big athletes. I could absolutely see that a competitor like Eli Liu, who had one of our slower times to the buzzer, but still a very impressive run. I could absolutely see him showing up. We could see that he has the power necessary to just full send everything. And it's now just going to come down to the speed. Honestly, if you look at that climb up the warped wall, that just cost him a couple seconds. It's going to be the little things like that that are going to make the difference. But if Eli can just clean up those little things around the edges, I think that 104 could have turned into a 40-something second run.
Yes, we're working with the best of the best here. And so when you see these competitions and you see all of these athletes, they're all capable of executing the obstacles that are being presented to them. But it does come down to, as you were saying, those tiny little mistakes, those tiny little errors. Did you go to the right obstacle? Did you make sure that you executed your climb up correctly? Did you put your hands on the trapeze bar where you wanted them to start? It comes down to those tiniest of movements that really helps these athletes come out on top when it's such a competitive field.
I also want to point out that we only saw one athlete link toss-up, and that was Bentley Boyd, and he ended up in second place. So there was likely, which I'm not fully remembering right now, there's likely some small adjustment, some small motion that maybe took a little bit of extra time, because obviously linking through an obstacle is faster than taking some extra swings. So where was the time difference between Bentley and Harrison made? That is the question. I'll have to look back on that. Hopefully we get a replay. Hopefully.
Sometimes it can be those obstacle transitions, moving quickly between one obstacle to the next, knowing exactly where you're going. A side-by-side between the two, I think, would be interesting to see.
Absolutely. And again, you're talking about maneuvering through the obstacles. We got a lot of people twisted around and not really knowing the full order of the course. And that also cost a bit of time. That could really do some of our athletes in on the challenge course. Again, we're talking about half a second between 4th and 5th place. There's Bentley linking. You see him just pop right off a toss-up. Yeah, everything looks smooth, so it's just potentially Harrison just closed the gap on another run. But as I was saying, getting twisted around on the course and not really knowing what you're going to next, when qualifying can be a matter of a quarter of a second or half a second, that is incredibly costly.
And it might have also been the trapeze movement too. If both of them were pushing for that first dismount off the swing, I think it was only really a second, less than a second and a half, that separated the two of them. One extra swing on the trapeze, that could be the difference between 1st and 2nd place.
Absolutely. Well, this is our second of 8 Premier Series qualifiers. Next week, we are leaving the United States and going over to Perth, Australia to the Ninja Academy. I've followed that gym specifically as they've hosted many championships of the Ninja Challenge League, which is our partner league over in Australia. And they set up some wild courses, floating salmon ladders, floating vertical limits. It is so crazy, the stuff that they come up with, and I cannot wait to see Australia's best come up. That's going to be August 12th and 13th. After that, where are we at, Mary?
Oh, well, before we move on to Austin Ninjas, I still want to talk about Australia. I'm so excited for this competition. And what I think I'm most excited to see is just the differences between Ninja in the United States and Ninja in Australia. Now, at the World Championships, we saw several athletes from Australia come out and compete. But obviously, there's just a whole wealth of athletes that are over there that we're going to get to see on display. And also the courses. What are the courses like? Are they the same? Are they different? I had a conversation last year at the World Championships with a couple of athletes from Australia, and they said they tend to focus a lot more on grip. And so it'll be really interesting to see how that plays out next week. Following week, the 19th, we are going to be at Austin Ninjas. Now, Austin Ninjas has hosted many a competition, so we're very excited to see what type of course they put together.
I cannot stress how smart the course designer is over at Austin Ninjas, Nick Fordney. He is able to scale any type of course to any level of difficulty. This is the gym that hosted the Tier 2 World Championship for beginner and intermediate ninjas. They hosted a Tier 1 regional this past season for our Tier 1 athletes. And now hosting a competition for the best of the best with the Premier Series. I got to talk to Nick quite a bit. We were on the WNL podcast together for an episode, and then I caught up with him again at the World Championship. And he's describing this as a chance for him to not hold back and go crazy with his ideas. Which,
dun, dun, dun.
Exactly. So I'm very excited to see what he's got cooking. After that, we head over to Modus Ninjas. And Modus has some underrated courses, I would say. It's not always in the limelight, but it should be. And they have very creative movements as a whole.
That's you hit the nail right on the head with that. Modus Ninjas, it is run by Donovan Matoyer, and Donovan is just one of the smoothest athletes out there. You just watch him run courses, it's always flowy. The movements that look awkward on everybody else, he just makes look so smooth. And so I think that the flow of this course is going to be really, really smooth, really, really like fun to move through. I'm very excited for this one.
Absolutely. And then once again, we are spending 2 weeks outside of the United States. I'm so excited to be going abroad for the Premier Series. I am someone who has followed the ninja world for years, and so to see it all come together in this series is so exciting. At the Ninja Academy in Israel, September 9th and 10th. Israel's only been on the ninja scene for about 5 or 6 years now, but they exploded in popularity over there. Ninja is still such a large piece of television in Israel, and now the sport itself has expanded so much so to where they have a new up-and-coming generation of 15 to 17-year-olds who are, I would say, some of them could rival a lot of our elite athletes as well. We'll see if they show up to this qualifier. It'll be their first official involvement in the WNL. We saw Gil Morantz compete at Ferox Athletics last week. This is going to be at his gym. He wanted to come out and try and qualify for the finals first before hosting an event of his own. And Gil has some very interesting movements. His gym has a lot of... It's not tight, but he puts a lot in the space, and he uses it very well to the point where we've seen a lot of clips in his gym go viral of athletes trying to jump from a spinning disc directly into a flying bar and then working their way through a salmon ladder while doing a 90-degree rotation into another cliff line. Like, they are so good at maneuvering themselves, and I think those are the types of courses that we're going to be seeing. Like Australia, a bit more grip-based. A lot of courses abroad are much more centered on longer time limits and pumping out your upper body. And I think that's what we're going to see a lot of, plus a lot of big and flashy moves. So that is definitely going to be one to watch, especially if you don't know anything about the ninja scene over in Israel. It's going to be a great introduction.
I think what you just described, that spinning disc to a flying bar to a 90-degree turn, that to me speaks of air awareness and body control. And so that combined with grip is just kind of the perfect ninja concoction, really. I think that with the transition of ninja courses over the last couple of years, we've seen towards more power movements, towards more movements that require directional changes, and just a really solid understanding of where your body is in the air to execute the obstacles. It's definitely a recipe for building some athletes that when they do come over for the finals are going to rival some of the athletes here in the US. So the combination of all of that just sounds so fun. It'll be great to see a clash of the countries, right? An international level competition, the Premier Series, the best of the best. I mean, I'm so excited.
I have waited for that since I was 13 or 14, and now I'm 21, so I could not be more excited. Not to mention, we are possibly getting a massive Clash of the Titans for Europe. No promises yet, but I am very excited for what True Function in the UK has to offer September 16th and 17th. The UK scene is a little smaller, but at the same time, I have not seen more passion and more excitement to just be in the moment for Ninja out of anywhere else. You know, a lot of competitions in the United States, and it feels so commonplace now that there's still excitement, but for the UK community, every comp, no matter how frequent, how infrequent, it feels like a major event. I got to meet a good amount of them. I've been friends with some of them online since COVID, actually. So we're, you know, I have a good pulse on that community, and they're so fun. It's always exciting to watch, and we have some really, really top athletes. Hollis Lansford, for one, made his way over to the World Championship. Competed in the elite division, did not complete stage 1, but made it fast enough to try stage 2 for some strongest ninja points. And then Jack Andrews made it to stage 3 and got 6th place overall in the young adult male division. So we'll be seeing him in the amateur division. I'm very excited to see what they have in store, plus potentially some other top athletes from Europe, which, if you don't know much about the European ninja scene, they're catching up. I would say and that's not to say that they're behind us. There are a lot of athletes who are absolutely at that elite level, but they're spread out everywhere, and I want to see them all come together. And True Function, we're talking, they've got a 30-foot salmon ladder, they've got a 19-foot warped wall, they've got cliff lines for days, they've got link lanes, and so many different types of holds by Dion Trigg, who is an OG fan of the sport as well. So we're going to see a lot of the old with the new mixed in on that course.
I certainly could not add anything to that more to that description. That sounds so exciting. The True Function is a gym that I am not super familiar with, so I'll be very excited to jump on there with Kane to start talking about some of those athletes when we get over to that side of the pond. Coming back to this side of the pond on September 23 to 24 is going to be the last chance for ninjas to qualify for the finals of the Premier Series, and that's going to be happening at Life Force Ninja, and that is way over onto the course. Is that the Heartland region, if I am not mistaken, or is that west?
That is correct. I believe it's labeled as Heartland. Probably. You're probably right. But it's worth noting that Life Force Ninja won the award for Best Course Design this past season for their regional course. So we can expect a very high quality setup. And that's very exciting. We can also expect a lot of athletes coming down from the Canadian Ninja League to compete. I know that there's some athletes who train there regularly, actually, and we could also see, we've seen some Canadians come in. We had a couple Canadian competitors at the Ferox qualifier, but with this one being a bit closer to a couple of other neighboring ninja gyms across the border, we could absolutely see a stronger Canadian contingent show up as well.
Very exciting to keep things international even while we're back here in the US. We are going to take a brief break here before getting into the challenge course. We're wrapping up rules with the athletes right now. I'm going to give them some time to warm up and plan out their course runs. But stay tuned. We are going to be back in just a few minutes.
And then jump this side. Oh, that's fine. And be on that side. And then you'll kind of just loop around here. And then you're going to catch the end of the ladder obstacle to the way it's left. And then you'll catch the other side. And then you're going to walk back over to the floor.
Hey, Greg, I need to focus on. Hey, girl, this is the last. Hey, sweetheart. Focus for 10 minutes. What is that?
But everything's on. And of course they can't use the bar.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Motive School of Movement in Greenville, South Carolina, home of our second WNL Premier Series qualifier. Got a little wave from the staff down there. That was great. My name's Kane Casillas, and I'll be doing commentary today alongside Mary Layton as we come into our Kids Division Challenge Course runs.
Hello, everybody. It is Mary Layton, the commentator ninja. Very excited to be here alongside King, bringing you the Premier Series, and we are about to venture into our challenge course with our first athlete, Corinne. On the female side, we are looking at our kids athletes, and she is up through the shrinking steps onto spinning logs. Now, Corinne needs to complete 3 obstacles before she can consider herself qualified for the championship. Only 3 female competitors here today, and it looks like she has, with that completion of the 3rd obstacle, qualified.
Wait, is this the 3rd obstacle? Switch grip?
Oh, maybe that.
Yeah,
Oh, maybe
looks
this
like
is the
switch
3rd obstacle.
Yep. And just a reminder, she does take a fall there on switch grip, but she does have 1 of her 2 retries. Now, for this challenge course, she cannot fail the same obstacle twice. If she does, that will be the end of her run. And the pressure is on, as if she falls here, this will cost her a spot in the finals.
And you see her taking a deep breath, really trying to prep herself for this. Looks like she's getting some pointers, and she's hopping off the block there. I'm wondering what just happened. I wonder if maybe something wasn't set properly. But I think we will probably see Corinne step back up to the start platform.
She hasn't been removed from the run order. She possibly is hearing that it's possible course malfunction. Good thing she only made it to the 3rd obstacle at that time, didn't exert too much energy. I'm going to allow for a solid rerun potentially. Just waiting for official confirmation on that ruling.
And that does, if it is just a course malfunction and she'll get to start her run again, that does work in her favor. This switch grip obstacle looks like a sideways board, but you can see the little yellow places where you can place your hands are in a different, two staggered locations on the board. So a sideways board, you already have to be precise with that hand placement, and now you have to be more precise. So continued innovation from Brett Sims.
It's the simple movements, you know, it's not an uncommon technique that we've seen in Ninja before, but now it's exaggerated, and those type of big throws are the types of movements that we should and can expect from our Premier Series athletes, including Corinne, who seems to be stepping back up to the starting line from what it looked like. Question mark. We do have Mila currently appearing first on the run order. Once again, with 3 athletes in the kids female division and 4 athletes meant to qualify for the Premier Series finals per division, athletes are now going to have to beat the first 3 obstacles to punch their ticket into the finals, emphasizing the need for skill and technique first and foremost.
And with the third obstacle, now we've only seen the first 3, but with the third obstacle looking as technical as the switch grip, I'm only anticipating it's going to get harder and harder from there.
Absolutely, and this is the first time we're seeing a 50-50 type of scenario in the course sense of beat the obstacles. You know, typically we see a race to the buzzer. Maybe someone's going to be a little faster than another competitor, and that's going to bump the competitor on the bubble out of finals contention. But this is an entirely different scenario where now it's just going to come down to the runners independent of their spot on the leaderboard, independent of their rankings against each other. And that's going to be a very different mindset. It's gotta play into these competitors' heads a little bit.
And we see Corinne back on the run order. Now, just a quick refresh on how the challenge course works. Athletes will have 2 retries throughout the course. So if they fail an obstacle or fall, they are able to attempt the obstacle a second time after the obstacle is reset. Their time is paused. However, they have to complete an obstacle in order to move on to the next obstacle in the course. Their time at the end, their total time at the end, regardless of whether or not they used retries, determines their placement. So still a traditional furthest the fastest with those retries thrown in there. And it looks like Corinne is getting ready to start off her run again.
Looks a little more confident. We saw a smile out of her. Not something that we saw a little earlier. Maybe now that she's more familiar with the first 2 obstacles, she's getting ready to go. And there we are, starting right off on the shrinking steps. Got a nice little Tornado Alley reference in there as well with that spin bar.
And spinning logs, those moon discs are not fun for anyone in the New England region. Those were quite a soul crusher at an action athletics competition several years ago.
We're seeing some swings.
Great. Made the first grab. This is where Corinne struggled back in her earlier attempt. Time for this second one. Oh, and it is a trapeze. Nice. Looks like we have a couple more switch grips for her to tackle, but maybe it looks like she might be winding up for a skip here.
Yeah, she looked straight down to that platform, and with that, Corinne Hanlon officially punches her ticket into the Premier Series finals as well. Congratulations to her.
Now it is time for toss-up. So we're making use of those mini throwbacks. Now, For those of you that have watched motive competitions before, you've seen a lot of different grip variations on the side of these mini throwbacks here. And it looks like the female athletes here are allowed to use more of the trapeze bar handles on the inside of the mini throwback. Still a big lâché though.
Ooh, goes
And that
far enough. Not that high though, and is going to get her first retry used on this obstacle.
Now it looks like you have to lâché kind of into the throwback, and I think that might be what is causing some hesitation. The distance might be a little bit tough, but I think it's really more so you have to lâché in between two posts in order to make the grab, which is a little intimidating.
Absolutely.
And building up her swing.
Yeah. And that is going to do it for Corinne's run, but again, completes 3 obstacles, is advancing to the finals. That's going to be a tricky lâché through the special delivery as well, but we're seeing she got really close to those boards and just full sent the dismount.
The technique already on display that is required for this course. Having to lâché in between the two posts almost pushes you to use those outside grips if you have the confidence for it. So we'll see what the rest of our athletes decide on that obstacle. Almost a little mini split decision.
Up at the starting line now, we've got Mila Rukas, came in 5th place at the 2023 World Championship, trained out of TA Fitness Plymouth. We also saw a large showing from them at Ferox, and their head coach, Lucas Reale, qualified for finals as well. Very smooth run from Mila so far. Taking a bit of a cautious approach. Again, Mila also has to just beat 3 obstacles. I say just as if it's simple. And then she will also advance to finals. So she's going to be a little more cautious here, but it's the smart play.
Yes, a move like this, easy work for Mila. I do expect to see her go for this skip. Just saw her teammate execute it, building up that power. Quick duck of the head to the dismount platform. So now we'll see Mila attack toss-up. We'll see what she decides to do. A little bit of a struggle getting up to that trapeze bar there. Using that cliffhanger on the outside, though.
I want to point out the lock-off strength there. She was swinging on a cliffhanger, and oh, interesting. Switching around, you can use the bars, and is going to go for a bigger throw. She's a little lower, but she's allowing herself to gain more momentum through that swing, and just hits the top, but sends the second hold-on toss-up spinning.
Now that was a smart move from Mila to use the handles that are just a little bit closer. She looks like she's going to do another attempt. What I am hesitant about this technique here, it does bring her closer. It looks like she was a lot closer to making the grab, but she is spending a lot of time making her way around to those handles. But she's there. We needed a little more power that time. Oh.
Just the same thing happening twice. Quick peel off, but a great run so far. Look at that quick pop on the switch grip, and then the massive swing. Only took about 1 or 2 back swings on that dismount there. Very impressive.
Well, we only have 1 female athlete left to compete, and that is Mia Law, coming to us from Ninja Nation. Lots of great athletes coming out of Ninja Nation. Will we see our kids female athletes get deeper into the course? I'm hoping that Mia can get past that 4th obstacle.
Mia has an insane resume. Tier 1 Southeast Regional Champion. Oh, but stepping down after that second log is actually going to cost her one of her retries already. A simple, small mistake like that. And now the pressure's on. She's going to have to play it a little more carefully, pay more attention to where she's walking. And there we go, now with the dismount. As I was saying, though, our Southeast Regional Champion got 7th place.
Ooh, a skip.
Whoa.
That was a smart move from Mia. She completely went past that switch grip, which was not only faster, but actually risky in that you could hit your head, but less risky in that you're going to a nicer trapeze bar as opposed to a kind of awkward techie grab. Mia deciding to go with the approach that Mila just took, going to those handles. A bit taller. Will she be able to make that second grab?
And built her fingers off as well.
And it's looking like these ladies need to crank that swing just a little bit more, get a little bit more height to get those hands over the inside of the mini throwback. This is her last retry. Building up the swing. Did she learn from her first attempt?
Yes, she did. I was about to say, we saw out of her first attempt that she had the distance for it, just didn't get as big of a pump. But as we're seeing now, she's learned from her mistakes, not only lands the second, but the third as well. However, that is going to use up both of Mia's retries, which means that any fail after this will end her run officially. We'll see if she'll even need that or if she'll be breezing through the rest of this challenge course onto the spinal tap, which I don't think I've seen before. What
Smart moves.
Brett Couples.
This obstacle I think we'll see used a little bit differently throughout our various age divisions today. Now Mia has 45 seconds on to the third to last obstacle. Ring slider. Lots of ring sliding today.
Coming up to Deja Vu. Classic obstacle, very techy. Gonna have to make a big hop up on that bar or just go straight for the dismount. Misses the ring. And without a retry in her back pocket, that is going to do it. But Mia Law makes it to the second to last obstacle. Great run. Even despite a couple slip-ups here and there, we saw some big moves, including that skip and a correction on the toss-up as well.
Great to see Mia overcome those obstacles and figure out the technique as she went on. I think if she had had that second retry, she likely would have had the Deja Vu obstacle pretty solid. So here is our leaderboard for the kids female division after the challenge course. Corinne Hanlon taking third place, Mila Rukas getting through switch grip in a slightly faster time, and Mia Law getting all the way through obstacle 7, figuring out a tricky move on the mini throwbacks. So we are very excited for all of these 3 female athletes here. They have qualified for the finals. And now we get to see a look at the kids male division. Now our placement leaderboard lined up exactly with our challenge course leaderboard for the female athletes. I don't think that that is what we will see in the kids male division. Lots of talented athletes coming to the starting line. I think we're going to see that leaderboard shaken up quite a bit.
Absolutely. On the course first is going to be Grayson Johnson, rocking the Movement Lab Ohio shirt. Came all the way out to South Carolina for this competition. And is going to be running first. Had a small slip up where he peeled off on the placement course. And it looks like there's going to be just another small mistake as his foot taps the floor after the first obstacle. He's going to have to play it a little safer. But still has a lot of time.
Went for a bit of an early dismount, getting a little bit more momentum that time. Nice work. Moving on to spinning logs. Oh dear. Oh. And he started to lose it on the first one. He does have another retry. So hopefully he takes a little bit calmer of an approach here.
Yep, and we can see that he's really riding the surfboards now. There we go, regaining his composure. But he doesn't have any retries left. He's going to have to flash every single one of these obstacles. And that is going to end his run. Unfortunately, that switch grip was just a little too wide for him, it seemed. But a great recovery out of Grayson on both of the obstacles that he first took on. We have a very strong field, so that run might not hold up, but this is still something that he should absolutely be proud of. Even making it to the Premier Series is such a privilege, and requires a certain level of skill that so many athletes do not have. These courses do not mess around. They are not easy by any means. And taking out an athlete like Grayson goes to show just how tough these can be.
We've got another tough athlete coming to us from the Knicks Training Center. This is Angel Vega. And we saw him with some great efficient movements in his first run. He's got a great coach of the year, Michael Greatness Johnson. Getting him through the spinning logs, it looked like that reach on the logs was a tough reach for him, one of our smaller athletes here today. Switch grip's looking good. We'll see if he goes for the skip from the trapeze bar. Something he's going to try to make.
I was about to say something to keep in mind, was that Angel missed the dismount by a couple inches on that trapeze. Big throws might not be entirely in his wheelhouse depending on the distance, but we also could have just seen a fluke out of him and not his best run, which is totally possible as well. Now, how's he going to reach up? Oh, all right. A little bit of a slip up, but that one-handed recovery shows a lot of grip strength there.
Angel deciding to go to the front of the mini throwback for toss-up. Smart move. He's got a big launch right here. Looks good. And now that the athletes have had a chance to see a few competitors execute this, I think that they know they need to kind of overreach that grab on the inside of the mini throwback just a little bit. I bet we'll see less and less athletes have trouble with this. Quick dismount for Angel.
Coming up to the jumping spider now. Going to wrap around on that rope. Reach over to that ring and slide on through the spider. Has to regrip just a little bit. But once he does, he's pumping his way right through. And he's coming up to the spinal tap now with a minute left on the clock.
A minute left and a clean run so far. Angel has not used any of his retries.
And at this point, so deep into the course, this is something that you definitely want to keep intact. Any falls from here means that you're doing some longer, more technical and pumpier obstacles with less time to do so. So maintaining this perfect streak right now is something that Angel's going to want to do. Good early dismount from halfway through the third board on spinal tap.
Now, Angel had to take a couple extra backswings on the trapeze obstacle earlier in the placement course. Deja Vu, similar trapeze build. He's going to need, if he's either going to go for the skip to the ring or go for the placement. He needs a lot of swing.
He's got 8 seconds left to get this on his second attempt. You can see that his timer is frozen. That will only resume when the obstacle is reset and he is given a 3, 2, 1 countdown. Here we go. Gonna take
It looks like he's
extra swing.
going for that ring. He gets it. Did he get the clear? Oh, looks like he ran just out of time.
I actually think he touched down right before the platform. Might have been what happened, but either way, great runs. He had to recover his swing quite a bit. We saw that amazing save on toss-up. There were a lot of times where Angel was at a dead hang almost, and his ability to regenerate his swing was incredible.
Lots of great confidence out of Angel today.
We're going to take it back to the starting line for Eli James Murray, two-time world finalist, training out of a rig. Says his favorite part about Ninja is hanging out with his friends at competitions, and he loves ring hopper obstacles. We do have a lot of rings on the course, so perhaps this is something that Eli is going to have a lot of fun with.
Sporting what looks like some slap chalk shorts there.
Oh!
Ooh, and A little tripped up on spinning logs. Looks like his momentum just got the better of him. Wasn't quite ready for that next step onto the spinning logs. Taking a careful approach, making sure he's hitting center on those springs. So he has a good launching point for those logs. Ooh, almost missed that, but made it.
Now coming right up, big swing. Oh, goes straight for the skip. And it looks like he might be going for that dismount as well. Yep, big pull back. That's going to save him a lot of time. And that also saves him a lot of technical moves, which he might want to avoid with just one retry left now.
I think we're going to start to see a lot of the athletes going forward go for that skip, which is sad because it's a very cool hold, but if you can skip it, it's in your best interest. Oh, and it looks like Eli's hands just got a little bit away from him, making the transition to the front side of the handles. Now, Eli is a taller athlete, and it looks like he's deciding to build his swing using those cliffhangers. And it works!
Now do it again from the little slopers there, from the cannonballs on the side.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
Of course. There's no risk for him at all. He is currently using his second retry, which does mean that any run after this obstacle is one and done. And it looks like, unfortunately, his left hand overshot that special delivery on the toss-up. That is going to end Eli's run.
Didn't have quite enough power to get to that next toss-up, but really showing off his grip strength there, using those cliffs on the side to build up a swing enough to get him to that second one. So still some good showing from Eli here today.
Absolutely. We've got another Eli up on the course. This is Eli Liu.
Ninja Mania, where they like to go fast. Coming a long way from Danbury, Connecticut, all the way down to South Carolina. Little bit awkward on those steps, but makes it through to spinning logs.
Eli made it to stage 2 at the World Championship, where he fell on Vortex, the skyhook obstacle. But that does mean that he had to work his way through a lot of sketchy balance in order to get there. And he's showing his prowess on this course so far. See if he's going for that skip as well. Ooh!
Nice work. What a reach out of Eli right there. Tuck the head. Almost a one-handed grab.
Yeah, we could see a bit of a gibbon swing technique out of Eli James, and now it looks like we're going to see some similar technique out of Eli Liu as well. Ooh, skipping that cliffhanger, jumping straight up. Looks like he's going to save himself some time and have that forward swing still going on toss-up, keeping him out of a dead hang and allowing himself to throw even more. Just like that.
That was a great pop off of the front side of those handles. I was watching the swing. I didn't know if he had enough, but he was able to really explode off the front side to get himself up to the second element in toss-up. Now we're going for the third. Here's the wind-up. Oh, nice casual grab, and he is through obstacle number 4 onto number 5.
Looks like he's sizing up the jumping spider as well. Hopping right up to that rope. This kid's got hops, Mary. He's just been launching himself through everything this whole course.
You know, when you're on the shorter side for this division, you got to have it. You got to have those hops.
Absolutely. That explosiveness can come into such handy. But now he's going to have to maneuver his way through the spinal tap, kind of shimmying his hands up as, loses his grip a little bit. But now onto, it's crazy to think this is an obstacle where the cliffhangers might be a quicker side for the athletes here. As he's coming on down the spinal tap, he's got 35 seconds left, which might not be enough time to clear the last 3 obstacles, but definitely is enough time to put some points on the board, put some pressure on the other athletes, and force them to go fast.
And first place right now had only cleared this obstacle with about 30 seconds left and then had a fall on the Deja Vu. So Eli could still claim himself a current first place. Ooh, but only, oh, the time is going. Only 5 seconds left for Deja Vu. He's going to have to go for the launch. And that does it for his time.
Still a great run. Had to push the pace, and that is going to put Eli in second place for the time being. We saw that amazing power out of Eli on the toss-up. And again, just such explosiveness throughout that entire run. Now we do have a top 4 currently. Angel in first, Eli Liu in second, Eli James Murray in third, Grayson Johnson on the bubble in 4th place right now, and Alex Kaminsky has a chance to bump him out. That's not the nicest way to put it, bump him out, but
Oh, it's competition.
yeah.
It's the Premier Series. It is high level. It is tough. And a Steel City Ninja following a Ninja Mania athlete. Woo. Speed versus speed right here.
It says here that Alex loves to practice on his family ninja rig and catch frogs. Oh!
Oh. And the momentum seems to be getting away from these athletes on the spinning logs obstacle. They're almost anticipating the movement forward, but not quite ready to commit to it. But thankfully, Alex gets through spinning logs his second time around, figured it out. Is he going to go for the skip on switch grip? It looks like we're winding up for it. And again, that Gibbons technique that we saw Eli use to reach it across without worrying about hitting your head on that first switch grip. Is it good?
It is. He
It's
looked
good.
over to make sure his foot didn't tap, got the thumbs up. Now he's coming up, and there we go. We're seeing one of our taller athletes here, Alex, just hopping right up to that special delivery. And it looks like Eli's strategy is going to be used, reaching on the backswing for those bars so he can properly generate momentum without having to twist himself around. Great throw up to that second toss-up. And popping right through. Gonna go for that dismount. Still has a retry in his back pocket, but isn't really showing that he needs it right now.
I think we're going to see that retry, if you get to this point in the course, likely be used. Oh, I spoke too soon. It's the commentator's curse. I was just about to say, not really going to need it unless you get to Deja Vu, but it looks like Alex just didn't have quite enough momentum pushing himself into this rope swing. Looks like he's going to try to make sure he's got the reach there. There it is.
Now this does mean that every run from now on is do or die for Alex Kaminsky. No retries left for him. Slapping his shorts a little bit to chalk up a little more. He's going to climb right up the spinal tap. Now this obstacle not necessarily looking like it's tripping up our competitors, but boy, can it be time consuming with a minute left on the clock. We're going to see just how quickly Alex can get to Deja Vu. Oh, falls back.
Oh, and that's it for his run. Did not fully cross the plane of the dismount there. His hands were definitely sliding a bit as he was going for that final dismount, but some great moments from his run today.
And we can see that Alex lands himself into 3rd place with that run for the time being. We do have 9 runners remaining in the kids' male division. Currently on the bubble is Eli James Murray. Beating the switch grip obstacle is going to get you into the top 4 if you're faster than 34 seconds. Or beating toss-up will automatically put you into that top 4.
I do think that with the level of the athletes we have coming back in the run order, we'll likely see that change. I think that you're going to need to get much deeper into the course in order to snag one of those top 4 spots. But let's see what Stryker can do with this current leaderboard. Let's see what the Hulk, the Incredible Hulk can do.
Right. Stryker.
I'm just going to call him that from now on.
Yeah.
The Incredible Hulk.
Stryker coming out of Ninja Core. And again, I still love this line. Stryker enjoys candlelight dinners and long walks on the beach. Let's see if he enjoys hitting buzzers too. Sprinting right through the shrinking steps.
I did not know the Incredible Hulk was such a sensitive soul.
Oh yeah, of course.
And so good at balance obstacles, too.
Gonna also go for that big pop. His wingspan almost allowed him to static that.
I'm really liking the difference I see in Stryker right now from his first run to his second. I just feel like this is much smoother. It was
like what he was trying to do though. Throwing the cliffs back to jump out to the bars. It looks like he's going for that again.
Hopefully he can get it. No, Stryker!
Now he did get there in 20 seconds, which does put him in 4th place, but that does mean he's on the bubble. Really, really admire the creativity there. But
that was such a smart move. He just couldn't get the execution of it. Just needed to trust the jump a little bit more. Oh man, I was really excited to see Stryker get deeper into this course. He was looking really good his first 3 obstacles. Very smooth, very confident. That's just the way it goes sometimes.
Luke Lebda now taking on the course. Luke was 1st place in the North Central region. Got 4th place at the World Championship where he made stage 3. And
interesting.
Pinched the side of switch grip. Maybe not looking at a skip here. No, he's angling himself sideways. Gonna go for that grab, it looks like. Repositioning his hands.
Now I could see a static to the front side. It almost looks like he went for a hop. You definitely do want to grab a front side first so that you don't... If you grab the back side, the front side will be tilted up out of your reach. But hopefully he laches it. Looks like he's going for the skip now.
That is going
to
run.
Just couldn't get comfortable with an approach there. Yeah. But great movement through this balance obstacle, spinning logs. Very confident.
Absolutely. You can see that as he was trying to reach out for the switch grip board, he reached out with his left hand, which hit the front side of that board, and lifted the backside up, and that is what caused his first fall. Silas Bertrand on the course now. We've seen Silas move fast before, or at least, at the very least, I have, training with him at Level Up. There we go, breezing right through. Probably gonna go for that skip, and definitely swinging like he's gonna.
No.
I think he tried to tuck his head around the board, and that did throw off his positioning there.
And these early trickier movements, you know, a lache from a trapeze to a trapeze, you wouldn't think is that tricky, but that switchboard hanging down below does make you angle your head a little funny. It is a little bit trickier. And we're seeing a lot of athletes use up their retries in the first 4 obstacles. Just, you know, some silly mistakes here or there. Oh, and here it is again. Silas is going to have to use his second retry on the toss-up obstacle. Missed the grab to that second mini throwback.
And he's going to go for that lache with the cliffhangers once again. Definitely has the grip for it. Had the height on it. He just couldn't hold on. Does this time around. We're going to see if he can land that final grab or if his run ends here. He holds on and he peels right off. Backs right off the edge. Makes it through, but not fast enough to land himself in the top 4 to the toss-up. Currently, it's a race to the toss-up. Stryker Strickland remaining on the bubble. As we see Silas really pushing the pace on the earlier obstacles. It was just those quick peels off that did him in. We now take it over to the starting line where our next runner is none other than Jorge Armas, who is coming for his second Premier Series qualifier.
Jorge showed some incredible explosiveness in the first placement course, which I think is going to serve him well as he gets to definitely the 3rd obstacle and really the 4th obstacle as well. This toss-up, you just need a lot of throw. I think we'll see him go for an easy skip here.
Ooh, Jorge missing the grab on the skip, and I do want to mention, this is the scene of the crime for him. Last week, Jorge missed out by falling on the third obstacle at Ferox, and is looking to set a Premier Series personal best here. Getting his redemption.
I like that he decided to go with the safer route and use the switch grip.
This puts him in pretty good position. Not fast enough to this point to make it into the top 4. He's going to have to beat this obstacle if he wants a shot at qualifying for finals.
And here's where I hope we see some of that explosiveness on display. Really need a lot of height to nail this grab on the first set of handles. Oh!
We saw that he got his fingertips in there, but they just slipped out. He probably needed to wrap a little more into the hold.
And you can see that determination on his face. He knows this is it. This is the moment. If he doesn't get this grab nailed, he is out of the competition and out of podium contention.
And there's the first grab.
Looks like that pressure's doing well for him. He's just got to move around to the front. Dropping down to those handles on every second.
Beautiful kip as well.
Oh, and not enough height for the third grab.
Looking back on his run here, we see some quick footwork through the balance. Made some proper corrections on the switch grip. Switching up his approach to the obstacle as a whole. Very, very smart adjustment. That is going to land Jorge in 6th place for the time being. And we have 5 runners left, with Striker Strickland still remaining on the bubble. To advance into the top 4, you have to beat Toss-Up, the 4th obstacle.
Now, Nolan had a quick time. We are getting into our faster athletes on the leaderboard here. And Nolan also... Oh, no. Is he okay?
I hope he's okay. He's
already back.
Yeah, he's back. He's back.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, as I was saying, Nolan loves burnout courses. And he also had a very quick time, very quick flow through the placement course. So we're definitely excited to see him tackle the challenge course. Moving pretty quickly here. Deciding to go with a wide grip on the cliffhangers. Great build.
You could tell he was thinking of where he should grab, where he should jump from. And with that, Nolan, with his methodical approach, secures a spot in the top 4 for the time being. Is now going to try to extend that and get even higher up on the leaderboard.
Most of our athletes that we've seen get to this point have had closer to a minute or 40 seconds or so. Nolan has 2 minutes left after getting through the jumping spider. So he has loads of time. He still has a retry left. We might get to see all of the course here with this first run from Nolan.
With a clear on Spinal Tap, this does put Nolan ahead of Alex Kaminsky. Nolan currently in 3rd place. It also made amazing time. I believe that might be the fastest we've seen to Deja Vu so far.
Yes, I think our previous 2 athletes only had about 30 seconds left on the clock. Nolan still a whole minute. Looks like he's going for a big lache up to a ring on a skyhook. So we need to make a couple moves here to the dismount. We have 1 obstacle left. It is the warped wall without a ring to help you get up there. And my man's excited. We just had our first clear of the day.
Congratulations to Nolan with a time of 2 minutes, 3 seconds, putting him in 1st place in a very good spot. We saw those adjustments and the way he was thinking through the switch grip and the toss-up. Even with that little bump on the head, he managed to just push right through the pain, breezed right through to give us our first clear on Deja Vu, and popped himself right up the warped wall without a problem at all. Giving out a little victory scream at the top as well. Well deserved. That's going to be a pretty tough run to top.
It is going to be a tough run to top with the clear, but we do need to call out Nolan did use 1 retry on obstacle 3. And he also did take a couple of extra backswings on that trapeze. I think that was one of the differentiators, was the athletes who were able to generate huge swing in the placement course. They had a little bit of a faster time. I do think those two factors might put Nolan at a little bit of risk. He is in first place right now, but still 4 impressive runners left to go.
One of those runners is Kaylin Kaminsky, who's on the course right now. Kaylin had the 4th fastest time on the placement course and was the first to run. So definitely someone who doesn't always need the most amount of beta in the world, fully capable of creating his own path. And we're seeing that right now as he is sailing through the course. You can see here on the bubble, Alex Kaminsky, I believe is his brother. Currently.
Wow, tons of height there, getting to the second mini throwback. Easy work.
Great, literally absorbing that. Very, very strong movements out of Kaylin. Swinging right around, gonna hop on that ring and just give it a big pull back before swinging through that jumping spider.
Now we saw Nolan have about 1 minute and 50 seconds when he got through the spider obstacle. Now he's on to, for Kaylin, at about 2 minutes, so a little bit more than 10 seconds ahead of Nolan's pace at this point. Using that reach very quickly through Spinal Tap. That's probably the fastest I think we've seen anybody get through that obstacle today.
Yeah, Kaylin barely incorporated his feet on that obstacle, but very clearly showed that he didn't need to. Coming up to Deja Vu, 1 minute, 25 seconds left. Big pump back. Is he going to grab it in 1? Yes, he is. He's going to pop it up. What an incredible pace. He is sprinting for that wall, knowing that he can get the fastest time. And look at that, 1 minute, 49 seconds. We thought Nolan set the bar high. Kaylin has absolutely dominated the course.
Yes, and in almost 20 seconds, over 25 seconds difference between those two athletes. That is an impressive run. No retries used, perfect execution. Great run.
And like you mentioned, where he made up a lot of the time would be on the Spinal Tap, where he didn't really use his feet as much. And then we also saw that quick reach over. Only took 1 swing on Deja Vu, which definitely saved him a lot of time. But now we have
another speedy athlete, Parker Johnson, came in 3rd place with a very quick time in our placement series. Placement course, excuse me.
Parker also coming out of the Movement Lab in Ohio, a Midwest athlete. Breezing right through, kind of striding his way through the shrinking steps. Ooh, nice 1-2 hops. And he stays on the course. Almost looked like he went off balance on the platform of all things. That momentum was really carrying him out to the side, but he maintains his balance.
And Parker's looking pretty casual right now. I think if we're going to see him get through the course with a fast time, I'd like to see a faster pace. Oh, and he just misses that dismount. Now at this point, in order to guarantee himself a spot, he will need to finish the course in under 2 minutes and 3 seconds. The athlete that he would be working to get through the course faster than is Nolan. Nolan did have a retry at the exact same place that Parker did. So I think we'll be able to have a better idea once we get through the jumping spider, see how that works out, see how close we are.
Good kip, but he's kipping a little forward. Oh, never mind, I stand corrected. Got plenty of height needed for the toss-up. And he nails that 3rd grab as well. He's just going to stride right on over to the jumping spider. Building up that speed to carry himself on the rope. Oh, misses the grab on the ring. Slips down and has to use his 2nd retry. Minute 35 left on the clock. Currently on the bubble is Eli Liu. Made it to Deja Vu in 2 minutes 51 seconds. That is going to be what Parker has to beat in order to get to the top 4. But as you said, in order to guarantee his spot, he has to beat the course in under 2:03. Now, something else I do want to mention, with the amount of runners that we have left, this does mean that Kalen Kaminsky also has secured his spot in the finals, so congratulations to him. At the very worst, Kalen could get 4th place, which is what you need to qualify. But of course, sitting pretty in 1st right now. Parker, on the other hand, coming right around. Definitely making up for lost time as he's coming into the ring slider. This is what you're going to have to race through in order to set a good time to possibly get top 4 right now. As he does.
We're going to need a very quick build and dismount here. Nolan took maybe 3 backswings. Here's 1.
And looks like he's reaching now, and beating this obstacle puts him in 3rd place. There we have it. We're going to see another clear, this time from Parker Johnson, with a time of 2 minutes and 32 seconds. A very strong run. Couple slip-ups here and there from Parker, but he showed that he has the professionalism to recover. And that's going to put him in 3rd place for the time being with 2 runners to go. And we saw a simple whiff on the ring there through the jumping spider, but on his 2nd attempt, he just sailed right through like it was nothing. Popping himself right up the warped wall, up to the buzzer. But now we have Bentley Boyd. It's like getting out of the water, having a good time, and then seeing a shark go immediately pop out of the waves. Bentley Boyd is known as the Always Ninja because he's always doing ninja. They even put lights on his backyard rig, it says, so that way he can do it at night. So this is definitely someone who knows his way around a course, definitely knows how to maneuver his body. Now we'll just see if he can navigate his way through the mind of Brett Sims and currently toss-up.
Well, the Always Ninja is going to always need to keep moving on this course in order to get a fast time. Quickly through the toss-up and onto jumping spider.
No.
Bentley is one of our taller athletes here today, so using that reach to his advantage. We'll see how he does on the spinal tap obstacle.
Now, in order to qualify for finals, Bentley's going to have to beat the course in under 2 minutes 32 seconds. That's going to put him in a minimum 3rd place, which means that with 1 runner left, he will be safe regardless. Currently on the bubble is Angel Vega with a time of 2 minutes 42 seconds to Deja Vu, which Bentley is absolutely slashing right now.
A whole minute and 30 seconds left and 2 obstacles to go. I think we'll see a nice reach up to the ring first try. Here it is, the dismount. Loads of time for that final warped wall obstacle.
I think this is going
Speeding right up.
time.
And it is by about 7 seconds. Kalen Kaminsky had a clear in 1:49, and Bentley Boyd coming in at 1:42. Now, Bentley's time was just about 1.5 seconds slower than our next runner that's coming up. He moved very quickly. You see him executing these moves with such precision, such confidence.
Yeah, he
And
really... I want to see that swing on the... Yeah, look at the amount of power he built up in 1 move on Deja Vu. That is the type of stuff you expect to see from Bentley. Absolutely great run.
Final runner, Harrison Munoz, is going to be pretty hard-pressed to find any advantages in movement here. He's really just going to have to continue moving at a quicker pace. Maybe a more confident start to toss-up will be where Harrison can make up that difference in time.
We've seen Bentley Boyd, Kalen Kaminsky, and Nolan Augustin secure their spot in the Premier Series Finals. Now, while the time limit is around 3 minutes, Harrison's real time limit to get to the top 4 is Parker's time of 2 minutes and 32 seconds. And he is pushing the pace to get there. One of our taller athletes really just hopping right up on toss-up. building up that swing. Very high grab. Had to reposition his hands entirely because he almost came into that too hard.
Oh, and I like that.
A little
kip forward. Yep.
Great grab. Now again, it's all going to come down to how quickly can he get to the buzzer. And spinal tap, our most time-consuming obstacle on the course, is definitely going to be a big deciding factor in how much time Harrison will have. I'm fairly confident he will get to the buzzer. I do not believe in the commentator's curse.
Bentley had 1:30 when he dismounted this obstacle. And Harrison right around the same time. So if he can execute this move, first swing up. Needs to build a little bit here before he can get there. Another backswing. This is surprising.
Yeah, he didn't come off the cradles with a lot of backswing. He just kind of popped it up. So that did cost him a bit of time, but regardless, that is time he did not need. With a time of 1:46, Harrison Munoz is going to be in second place, qualifying for the Premier Series Finals.
And I think that this leaderboard lineup here has just shown a little demonstration of course endurance. I think that Bentley just has a little bit of an edge. You saw Harrison kind of slowing down a little bit as he got to those final couple of obstacles. Great execution and a nice little bit of information for us to carry as we move into the finals as well.
And there we have it. You can see your top four. Bentley Boyd, Harrison Munoz, Kaylin Kaminsky, and Nolan Augustin will all be competing at the Ferox Athletics Finals November 17th to 19th. Also on the kids' female side, we have all three of our athletes registered today. Mia Law, Mila Rukas, and Corinne Hanlon, all qualifying for the finals in their division. Congratulations to all 7 of our athletes who have qualified so far. We've had some absolutely insane moments. Nolan took a pretty hard hit on switch grip as well. Tried to go for that skip initially and hit his head on the board. I was very worried. The camera did not cut back to him for a split second, but then 5 seconds later, he was right back on the obstacle. I think he actually false started, and one of the refs had to tell him to step back. Like he seemed fine. I was worried for a split second, and then he got up and he was like, "Oh wait, I can't go right now." It was.
That was maybe one of the faster times that I've seen. Well, we are very excited for our 7 athletes who are qualified and moving on to the finals of the Premier Series. That'll be at Ferox Athletics. But we're not done with competition today, ladies and gentlemen. We still have several age divisions to go. This was an exciting round in our kids division, and we are amping it up to the mature kids where the movements are going to be even faster, even techier. We can't wait. Kane, what time are we going to be back here on the stream?
We are going to be back here at 12 p.m. Eastern with the mature kids divisions, both male and female. It's not going to be one that you're going to want to miss. We have a lot of heavy hitters from the World Championship and the regular season, so stay tuned.